Okay, so my name is Jumoke Olowo Waste. I'm the creative director, founder, the Waste Museum, the first in the world. Located right here in Moniya, near Ibadan. The waste itself is my inspiration. I fell in love with waste from my kitchen 16 years ago when I was home on maternity leave of my twins. And for the first time, I realized the amount of waste I was generating, and I felt there should be something else we could do with the waste instead of throwing the waste away. So I would say waste itself is my inspiration. It did not start as a museum. It actually started as an idea in my head. And everybody I shared it with thought I was crazy, actually. Because when I checked on Google, even Google said cannot be found. But I kept saying it in my head. I kept, dreaming about it. And I knew the dream in my head was very big. It's not something that I had the capacity to be able to create at that moment that I got the idea. But I felt if I cannot do it big, I can do it small. So I decided to look inward and ask myself that what do I have that I can use to start? And that was exactly how I started. So it started like a dream, and then it started materializing because I was using the resources that was already in existence, that I already had. I was trying to, convert the dream into that idea. So I started working on it daily. I remember I did my first call out for volunteers. I remember I had like 5 people that came in for interview, and only 2 people stayed, and they stayed with me for 2 years without salary. I remember when they are going home, we asked ourselves, okay, so who is going to Wogo, who is going to Ologo, who is going to, and then we bring out all the money in our pocket, and then we start checking out the money, and then we say, okay, you are going to Ologo, so you need only 200 naira. You are going to Wogo, oh, it's just 100 naira. You take 100 naira. And then the blessing will be like, no, don't you know that I'm coming back tomorrow? And I'm like, okay, it's true. So you need 100 naira to go and 100 naira to come back. That was how we started. And now we can pay our salaries. Now we have people that we've hired. Now we have volunteers. We're even paying our volunteers, giving them stipend, transport allowance, and all that. So I would say that we've grown, but we're not where we are going yet, but we are on the way. Because every day we are showing up, every day we are growing, every day we're getting better, every day we're learning something new, every day we're trying new ideas, and every day we are reaching one. And we are sorting out one waste, and we are turning one waste into wealth. So every day is like an adventure for us. It's the first, actually. It's the first anywhere. So it's not about setting apart, it's about the first. This is the only place you can come in and you see circular economy being showcased as a lifestyle. This is the only place you can see that. Because the Waste Museum is not just about the waste, actually. It's about the interactions of plants, animals, and humans living together without generating waste. And so we showcase the waste of one being food for the other. We showcase the interactions of what you can do beyond the waste that each of these elements, the 3 basic elements that makes up the environment. If you look around that, those are the only living things that you can see in our environment, the plants, the animals, and the humans. And so these are the interactions showcase center where you will see plants. Presently we have about 250 plants that are in 4 categories. We have food, we have herbs, we have ornamentals, we have air purifiers, all in one space. This is the only space that you can see that in the whole of Africa. We actually explore every form of waste. Presently, the only waste we have not been able to explore is poo-poo and wee-wee. But every other waste we explore that. We explore plastics, tires, papers, food waste, glass, aluminium, name it. We explore everything. Homes, schools, families, organizations, governments, they are all our markets because everybody that is generating waste needs us. And so when you look at it cut across, it's actually every human being that needs us. So everywhere is our market. The process of what we do. Okay, so basically we have different range of products because it cuts across plants, animals, and humans. So we have products from waste of plants, we have products from waste of animals, and we have products from waste of humans. And so basically, if we're talking about, let's start with waste of plants, for example. So we have garden, that is our own home garden. We also have supplies from sisters and brother farms like a cluster that we've been able to create over the years, because we've trained over 6,000 families now to grow their own food. So from each of these 6,000 families, they are like our suppliers. So we're very focused on growing without chemicals. So it's all natural. So you must not, if you want to supply us, for example, you must not put any chemical on your garden. And so we have clusters of people that we have trained how to grow their own garden without chemical. So our pesticides, our manure, they are all from natural form. We have trained them, and that's what they use. So we do, occasional visits to different gardens, to different farms to check their way of growing. And so when it is production time, for example, we do a call out. And so everybody, oh, I have 1 bag of lemongrass, for example. Oh, I have 1 bag of pawpaw plants, from pawpaw leaves that are already, dried. And so we do collections, and then we do final picking and drying, and then we mill, we grind, and then we package into tea bags, or we package into tincture, or we package into agbo, proper one that we, the one you put in kegs, and then the buyer will either put water or put 7-Up or put pap water, depending on, the constituent of what that particular product is being used for. So that is the process. So we collect the waste from the plants, we process them, we package them, and then we market them. So and then we also have some distributors that also collect and also sell from their own end. So that's for plants. If it is from waste of humans, for example, if it's the one that we're going to pick up, for example, we have some people that donate plastics. Let me talk about this jewelry, for example. We collect our plastic bottle waste from source. So we don't use contaminated plastics from landfill for any of our projects. So we collect from source. It means that we collect from families, from homes, from schools, from event centers where they have just used it, the primary user. So that is collecting from source. So we bring them here, we wash, we sterilize, we dry, and then depending on the design we want to use them for example, we'll get the other material that is needed to give them another life. And so if it's this earring, for example, we get the chains that are needed, we get the trimmings that are needed, and then when it is production day, we put all the waste that we've collected, that we've cleaned properly together, and then we turn them into jewelries. So it means that we have people that we have trained already that can turn this into jewelry. So we have our training units where we train youth and women how to turn waste into wealth. So we have the jewelry section, we have the furniture section, we have different section. So depending on what the order is or what the supply is required for, is depending on what we're going to create. So we get our waste from source, we clean them, we make them ready, and then we turn them into whatever product we want to turn them into. So the same thing goes for tire. If we have for example, that's a new order that we just received. That particular one is some of them are going to Ekiti, and one is going to is actually for a particular king. One of our customer made a request for a customized Ottoman furniture with glass made for a royal king that's just about to be installed. So that's an order, for example. So we actually do customized projects. We don't do furnitures down, except on maybe if we have exhibitions and then we're going for exhibitions. Normally, most of the time we make made to fit, made for order. So for a specific occasion. So this particular one now is made to order for a royal installation of a king. So it's going to be customized. The picture of the Oba is going to be there. The name and the royal story is going to be there. So basically, we don't use waste from, from contaminated supply. We take our waste straight from source, and for each of the products we want to create, because we have a wide range of products. We have even for jewelry, we have different designs of jewelries. We have jewelries from cartons, we have jewelries from bottle covers, we have jewelry from fabric scrap, we have jewelry from jeans scrap, we have jewelry from Ankara scrap, we have jewelry from stones, we have jewelries from natural seeds like this one, we have jewelries from coconut shells, we have jewelries from, so depending on the particular design we want to do, we determine the kind of waste that we're going to collect. But we use up okay, let me share a story. When we were building the waste museum, somebody called me from somewhere very far and said, Mr. Leokere, I heard that you are using waste. I have a lot of broken plates from my mommy's career in catering that has broken over the years, and they just piled it up at our backyard, and I'm trying to clear that spot. What do you want to use? Do you have need for broken plates? I always say yes to any kind of waste that people come in for. So I said yes. And then the only thing I was using broken plates for was wind chime. You know, you can see my wind chime right there. But she said, this is a lot of broken plates, so it's a lot. What will you use them for? I said, I actually don't know what I'm going to use it for now, but I know that I'm going to use it. So he said, okay, if you want to come and pick it. So during COVID, you know, there was nothing much we were doing. I remember I called one of my volunteers, and we went to, the place was after Ring Road, after Challenge, very far. When we got there, the stack of plates we saw was like 50 bags. Before we could pack it, we took like almost 3 or 4 hours. We were packing stuff, we were almost fainting. We were almost dying. But because we knew that we had to clear those plates from there. And the woman came out again and said, so what are you going to use this thing for? I said, I actually don't know. She said, so why are you doing all this stress for the past thing? I said, because I know that there will be a use for it. Guess what? 1 year later, so I bought them, I stacked them. They were just stacked. That's why the Waste Museum, we need a lot of space. My next space I'm going to move into is going to be a 10 acre. That's the only space I can take my air roof. I get load. Because I will just collect things that I don't even have an idea of what I'm going to do with it. But one day, it's just like an eureka. Chow! You know, the tap will just be open, bam! And it will just be perfect. So I stacked them. And so they were just gathering space for one year. So imagine if you are not patient, you just be like, this thing that I just packed here for 1 year, what am I? Let me just throw them away. No, there's no throw away when it comes to my own dictionary. Guess what? We were doing the wall. Wanted to finish the wall for the museum. And then they gave me a bill for the tiling. And the bill was millions. I was like, millions K. Then I just passed and one of the broken plate just hit my leg. And I'm like, hey, why, come. We can use this broken plate for the walls instead of tiles. And the tiler said, no. Mama jabo. Have you tried it before? He said, no. And I said, Mama jabo. Only his plate, it doesn't have a grip. I said, let's try it. To jabo, mama can waste cement. And we tried it, and now check our wall. The whole side of the wall is from broken plates. And the plates were not even the recent plates. They were plates of 1970, 1960, plates that were no more in production. So now our wall is actually telling a story of ceramics through the ages. So you can imagine. There was a sister of mine that called me one day, said, Auntie, there's one, let me bring this, there's some pile sticks that you see there, those black things, so that I can show my audience. She called me, she said, Auntie, I brought in some things from abroad with a container, and they use, let me pass it. Yeah, look at these things. Look at this pipe. She just called me and said, Auntie, I brought in some load, and I have this waste, this plastic strips, and it's a lot, and I don't know what to do with it. Do you want it? I said, yes. She said, what do you want to use it for? I said, don't ask me the question, but be sure I will use it. So she asked me to come and pick it. I went there with my car. I loaded the car. I brought it to my house. Guess what? They're part of my gates now. See it there. Those are what I use for my grid. I will have spent a lot of money using iron rods or iron pipes. Look at it now. So that is how I collect waste. The waste itself is my inspiration. Once the waste is around me and I keep seeing them every day, one day the solution for what we're going to use them for will come, and it will be apt, like as if we went to the market to go and buy it. I can tell a story of 1,000 things that we have done here, that it is just by that same principle. Take the waste, keep it. The day you will need it, it will just fit in. So there's a place for every waste. There's a purpose for every waste. Wait for it. That waste will fulfill purpose. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Well, the direct impact, the first impact that technology is making is that we have access to information. We have access to ideas. I can just take my phone now and just type things I can do with plastic, and it will give me 100 ideas. That's the first direct impact of technology to us. Because it's not only my head. This is my konkolo head that I'm using to think. I can just take my phone and tap from 1,001 ideas that is out there on the internet. Then I can tweak it. Okay, for example, now we're planning a community party. I was just talking to my community children, and I realized that they've never had a Christmas party before in their life. We're talking about Father Christmas, and they're like, they've not seen Father. I said, Christmas. They said they've never. So I said, okay, we're going to do a Christmas party for 100 children this December. When I started doing the budget, it was like almost 2 million. I was like, in this kind of TP era, 2 million naira without that will not bring, when you put 2 million naira in a project, and you know that okay, at least you are going to make 3 million out of it because you are doing a project. If I take 2 million now and I take it to Alessio Lawyer and I buy materials and I create product from it, give me about 50% increase. I use 4 million pada. But this is 2 million that you're going to spend. People are just going to be happy, bring joy and smile to people's faces, and no physical cash or profit is coming back. I'm only like it tomorrow. But the more I keep seeing the children, the more I knew that I wanted to do it. So we started, twinking, and we started putting ideas out. And I said I wanted to give them. When I was asking, I said, okay, I need somebody that will come and do Santa for Christmas, that will wear the costume and they will dance with the costume. And somebody, one of my volunteers, and I said, I have a Christmas, Father Christmas costume at home. So that means we are done with, we have gotten Santa. She Santa ma walila fen. She be Santa ma gberu. Oh my big gift. So started looking at, okay, what gift can we give them? So we started looking at what we have. Okay, maybe we'll create things that we'll package for them, blah, blah, blah. And then what are we going to use to package? We cannot use nylon like everybody is using. Okay, so I said, okay, let's use brown paper. Brown paper is biodegradable. When they are done using it, they can trash it and it will become compost. And so we wanted to do a bag for their packaging. And so I started looking at DIY paper bags that we could use. And I was able to get one that would just combine the paper bag and combine tissue roll paper, and it will be beautiful. They will love it because it's like, this is the first time that somebody's thinking about them to give them a particular. And I got that from the internet. So if the internet is not there for us to get ideas, for us to look through, you just be the only one thinking and it should be stressful. So that's one. Two, we can reach out to the people through the internet. I can reach out to sponsors, I can reach out to partners. People can get to me, they can call me. I don't have to travel to Lagos before I can have a meeting. I do a lot of online consultation. People will say, okay, come and help me to design my garden. And then I'll say, okay, just go out of your house, bring out your phone, do a video of your space, and I can say, okay, let's put this here, let's put this here. They send me my money, I give them their products online. I don't have to go to Lagos. So look at the first sample that we did. And so imagine the children getting customized individualized paper bag with gifts and stuff like this. And when they are done, it's biodegradable, They can take the ribbon, use them for accessories, and it's just there. So we just look through and instead of just going to the market, so it takes more time to do this, but it makes it customized and individualized. So instead of just using what everybody will use, you get to stand out and you get to be different. And so that is power of technology and things that you can do with technology. You can link up with people, you can collaborate with people online, you can do a lot of meetups, you can do meetings. I don't have to travel to Lagos to have a meeting. I can do a Zoom meeting, I can do a team meetings. That's part of the effects of technology that we are enjoying. And then we are also open to be able to do like an app whereby people can tell us the kind of waste they have in their homes. They can call us to come and pick up. Those are future things that we could do with technology that can help whatever it is that we're doing right here. Competitor. Let me try and think very well. Competitor. Do I have any competitor? I don't think I have any competitor. I have collaborators. Because everybody... Now, the mission of what I do is to create a sustainable world without waste. I can't do that alone. I am not the only person that will take care of the whole waste of the whole world. So the people that you will call competitors, they're actually not my competitors, they're actually my collaborators. Okay, for example, I was telling you about me trying to get tires, and because one of my sisters is already using more tires than I am using in Ibadan, he's making tires to be scarcer, and it's more difficult for me to get tires. But it's actually part of my mission to create a world whereby there's no tire waste. So every single competitor that you can call a competitor around me, they're actually my collaborators because they are also working to achieve my mission. And so that's part of my mission. So it's not a competitor for me, it's actually a collaborator. Goal 17, SDG goals, partnership for the goals. So I don't have a competitor, I actually have collaborators. We do trainings all year round. We do trainings January to December. So we do different. This Saturday I have a training at the American Corner where we're going to be training people how to use natural waste from plants and turn them into soaps, soups, and natural remedies for their body. So I do trainings every day. I do collaborative trainings also, whereby maybe a particular organizations want to train some people, and then they will come, and then I will help them train. I won't say it's a challenge. I can say maybe it's a limitation for people that are on the go, people that are in a rush. But for people that is trying to do what our mission is, which is ecotourism, is not a problem at all. Because we've had people coming even from out of Ibadan. We've had people coming from Lagos that they will come from Lagos on the train to visit the museum. They will experience the Waste Museum and they will go back to Lagos. So it's all about people's mentality about what we do and how important it is to them. So if somebody can come in from Lagos and spend the whole day to visit the museum and go back, people in Ibadan are saying they can't come to Moniya because Moniya is far to them. So I think it's all about perspectives and mindset of people about ecotourism. So the more people know the importance and the therapy and the effect of ecotourism to them and to their health, the more people will be willing to take and do whatever it is that is required for them to visit us.
So you talked about your permanent site. Where is that going to be?
Our next project is our adventure playground, which is 2 streets away from the Waste Museum now. We've started working on it already. It's a 2-spot location. We have a side that's going to be strictly adventure playground for proper ecotourism, foresting, forest bathing, grounding, earthing, and there's also a mountain climbing spot there. And then we have the second spot, which is going to be the first waste building in Ibadan, where all the building for the training sites and everything is going to be from waste. And we are exploring waste of tires and glass bottles. We started collecting already. So it's 2 streets away. But the permanent site for the museum, which is our 10-acre minimum site, is still in the dream. If you can donate it, you can donate it, we don't mind. Just tell us the location and we'll come. So when we came in here initially, I told the people about, why was even the reason why we started this center? When I just moved into this neighborhood, I noticed children playing around in uncompleted building for hours without anybody watching them. And I felt, no, children should not be allowed to play without supervision, because you will not be able to know what they are doing, what they are talking about. There's no adult around them to control them. So because of that, I opened up my gate. I was just using this space for my own personal space then. So I opened up my gate. There wasn't, what is gate? I just did gate. There was no gate. I just called them and I said, come and be playing here. So that when they are playing, I'm walking around them. I get to hear their conversation. When they used to abuse each other a lot then. You know, they would just open their mouth, and then they would just say all those big curses. So I get to tell them, oh, don't curse. Oh, you don't have to fight. And so I was like an intermediary. And that was how I get to know the children. And so they keep coming here. And initially when we got this space, there were a lot of trees, there were a lot of landfills, there were a lot of debris. So we packed and then we cleared the space. And I remembered I went to as far as Bodija with a truck, with a DAF, to bring over 150 tires. And we dropped them here. And so the community children will come, on my tire, on my competition tire. Then I had a tree at the back that I met that was big. So the neighborhood people said, oh, I should cut down the tree. And I said, why? They said, one man shake by the imbe. I said, okay. When I move here, we would be doing the Ikpade together. That the witchcraft used to do Ikpade, they used to do meeting. I said, if they're doing meeting there, when I move in, we'll be doing the meeting together. And I'm not going to cut down the tree. Guess what? That particular tree is one of the extinct, endangered tree of Ibadan, called Spatodia. Most of the trees have been cut down, and most of the wildlife that is trained on that tree have been displaced. So if I had cut it, I would have joined every other people. So I said, I'm not going to cut that tree. Do you know what I did? And I called in one of my friends that is a man of war. So he helped me to do a tree house with wood and ropes, like the one they climb in NYC. So that was all we had on this land for like 2 or 3 years when I just got it. So the neighborhood, so we do holiday camps here. So every holiday, I'll do a boot camp for them. So we'll do different hands-on activities. We used to say, we have a confession that we make because all the things we do at the Waste Museum is focused on our hands. So there's this confession we say, these are my hands. God gave them to me. They are blessed. Whatever I do with them shall prosper. My hands are blessed. And then we say it in Yoruba, Ọwọ́ mi leleyi, ọwọ́ ìbùkún ni, Olúwa ló fi fún mi. Ohunkóhun tí n bá dáwọ́lé, á yọrí sí rere. Ọwọ́ ìbùkún lọ́wọ́. We've been saying that since 2012 when I started all this holiday camp. So I let them focus on their hands and let them know that they can do wonders and beautiful things with their hands. So holidays, they will come and we'll play around. There are lots of tires. There's tree house there, so they will go, they will do drama, they will do play, all this role playing thing. That was all we decided to do here. So as I was building, they were also with me. So they watched me actually started from scratch. So they are part of the story. We started together. And so that's why every of our activity involved them. All the community children get to come to the museum without paying. Normally children come here and pay 1,000, adults pay 2,000 to even enter the gates. But any of my community children, they are the owner. They will climb the fence, open the gate and enter by themselves. So they are part of our story and we have a lot of activities for them. Recently, during last holiday, when Tunde Onokoya was doing the Guinness World Record show, we started another campaign for them, which is called Chess on the Street. So we go to each of the communities with like 10 chess boards and then we have other people that can teach them. And so we just talk to the shop owners and ask them to give us their entrance of their shop and give us benches. And so we set up a chess board for them and then the people walking on the streets will join us and then they will teach them how to play chess, tell them what chess is all about, and they tell them about Tunde Onokoya, about what he's doing in the US. And we tell them that if your child should learn how to play, it helps them to play, it helps them to study, because it's a game of the mind and it's a mental game and it helps them to be very smart. And say, yeah, they join us. And so we have a lot of intervention. And that is what also brought about the Christmas in Moniya that we are doing for the first time this year. That's coming up December 22nd. We moved there 2016. I started working on the museum. Immediately I was done with my PP40 project for my 40th birthday in 2017 to 2018. So after 2018 was when I realized that I wanted to continue working with waste and children. So I founded a company. I registered the company officially. Then around that 2018, 2019 was when I got the idea of the Waste Museum. And I felt, oh, let's do something. I thought somebody was actually doing it. So I said, let me check the Waste Museum that they've done so that we can copy it there. Then I typed Waste Museum on Google and Google said cannot be found. So I'm like, Waste Museum in Africa, and they said cannot be found. Then Waste Museum in the world, and they took me to a center in India, Hyderabad, where they use 7 scraps to do the 7 wonders of the world. And like, so there's no place, where waste is the focus, waste of different. So I said, okay, then that means me that should do it. But I realized that it's not just going to be about waste of what we know as waste, but even the waste of plants too. Presently now we have like almost 8 products that are from waste of plants that are good for. In the last 8 years, I have not taken any drugs. All my drugs have been from the waste of plants. And now it's not only for me and my children and for the immediate people that are around me. It's actually we send products, our products from waste of plants, teas, powders, herbal powders. We send them to as far as US, Canada, UK now. And they are all from waste of plants. But because people are using them and they realize that it's working for them, because it has worked for me, I've tried it, I've used myself as a guinea pig. I've used it, it has worked for me, and now others want it too, and it has now become a product and another source of income for the Waste Museum. I want to use this opportunity to reach out to you that you are hearing me, that waste is actually not waste until you waste it. And every single waste you're generating in your space, name it, plastics, paper, glass bottles, nylons, tires, they are actually wealth. Each of these waste items can be donated to the Waste Museum because we explore different range, and you are not just going to donate it, but you can actually get a discount on any of our products, from the furnitures to the jewelries to the glass and table organizers to the trap to the artworks to the mirrors. When you donate your waste, you get a discount on any of the products of your choice. So donate your waste today. Call us on 08023603977 or visit our website www.thewastemuseum.com or send us a DM, send us a message on Instagram at The Waste Museum or Jumoke Olowo Waste, and we will come pick up. You don't even have to drop. We will come and we will pick up your waste. And you also get a discount on any of our products. Call us today. We'll be expecting you. And also, if you have not visited the Waste Museum, you're actually missing out. Visit us at the Waste Museum today.